Well, hello everybody, Marion the Inappropriate Artist here, and today's video, I'm going to try to light me a little bit better. There we go. So I'm not so much in shadow. I don't look so Phantom of the Opera. I welcome all my new subscribers. Thank you for joining us here on the Inappropriate Artist. I call myself that for making all sorts of inappropriate decisions that, or at least decisions I've been told are inappropriate my whole life. I am embracing it because I am neurodivergent and I'm going to own it. So that's number one. Number two is I wanted to thank all of the people who have been participating by commenting on the videos, because you are helping me in so many ways, one of which is keeping me inspired to make videos. I was feeling a bit in a vacuum for quite some time there, and recently I have felt less alone, and I'm really grateful for that. Thank you for participating in my channel. And so to that, I want to answer a couple of questions that I've been asked. One of which is, will I be traveling this spring? And that, my friends, is still up in the air. I don't believe I'll be able to do it in this vehicle. This vehicle needs too much work. I also have doctor's appointments that I'm still going to in the meantime, because I've been trying to find answers and assistance. So I have mobility issues, some of you know, and my left hand is doing worse than my right. They did give me this brace, which I've been taking on and off because it's too big, and I think it hurts more than it helps. But every once in a while my wrist gets tired, so I'll put it on just to support my wrist, so that, because I'm a hand talker, and I if you tie my hands behind my back, I won't be able to say anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those. So I was either Jewish or Italian in a past life or something like that, maybe. Anyway, so this also addresses one of the things that has been requested, and I appreciate that so much, because music is my first love as an art form. I was raised a musician, and mostly my voice as my instrument, but I also played violin, piano, viola, and then eventually guitar. And I also was a picture framer for 25 years. And so I have now mobility issues. The thing that is probably the hardest for me, because someone asked me if I would, on my lives, play guitar and sing. And I would absolutely love to do that. There are two reasons why that is not going to be possible. One is that I have not been able to play guitar. This has been a real problem. Back in December, I had not played since July because I was in so much pain after my last busking gig that I couldn't play for many months. I decided I would try playing for small amounts of time to see if I could, because I gave it a good rest, you know, and I set a timer for 15 minutes, and I practiced for 15 minutes, and then I had no mobility in my left hand. For too long afterwards. The positive to that was that the next day I had a doctor's appointment, and that's when she gave me the brace and got me a referral to a rheumatologist. So that's the appointment that I have in June, which is another reason why traveling in the spring is going to be a difficulty for me. So that was another thing. Someone asked me if I was going to be traveling this spring, and I'm not going to be able to do that. Not with this vehicle, and not with the appointments that I need to keep. I am hoping to do some local weekends, like, going out around the area. But other than that, it's not on the docket right this minute. Things change. If y'all want to pray for me about anything right now, let it be that there's going to be a solution to this. Because another thing that this gives me trouble with is I can't hold my palette with this hand. I can't hold a sketchbook with this hand. So that's why you don't see me out sketching. And that's been an issue for me. I am a hand holder, and it's meaning I hold stuff in my hands, and I'm having to relearn how to do a lot of stuff, and that's why I haven't been doing a whole lot. And it's been a personal struggle for me, and I'm doing my best to work through it and find solutions. And so that's what I'm doing right now. We're working on solutions, and I'm hoping to be able to play guitar again in the future. But I don't know when that will be. Okay, so there will not be guitar. There will not be music in my lives, unless I'm coming out with something just off the cuff. All the little bits of singing that I do just because of life. And the other reason is because I don't have the money to pay copyright fees. And when they ding you, when they do a copyright ding on your video, it also buries it in the algorithm, so then people don't see it. It's another kind of thing, right? And I perform other people's music, so that's a tricky one. I don't know how to navigate that and the legalities of things. If there are people who know and understand and are and want to talk to me about those things, I do have an email in my description. If you can help me understand how to do that, when the time comes that I can, I will. So that's a big thing. So those are some issues, and those are things that people have been asking me about. And the big thing is that I need a new vehicle, and I have to work on these issues that when I'm distracted working on the project or traveling, I don't take care of, because I am neurodivergent, and I do struggle doing multiple things at the same time. I'm doing better at it than I was last year, but I don't know where my improvement level is yet, because I do keep improving all the time, but I don't, I'm trying not to predict nor hold myself back. Okay? So I'm doing my best to be present in this moment and work with what I've got. And so those are some big things that are on the plate right now, right? That I'm dealing with. When I move forward in the future, the new content coming up, because I'm not traveling right now. For those of you who have tuned in just because of the travel, I will be traveling again. I have 16 more states to visit, and and there will be travel in between. So if you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, you can see every time I put out a video and which ones you want to watch and which ones maybe you don't. If you're not interested in what it's like while I'm working in the studio, then you can wait till I have another content video where I go out to collect images to paint, because that is part of my process, right? So what you see when you watch my channel is I'm creating content for a book that I'm writing, and it's going to be a picture book, right? So it's going to be my paintings, my travels, my paintings, my photographs, and the stories that go along with them. And it is a 10-year project. I am 5 years in. And once I complete the travel, then it's about then the hard part comes, right? Then I gotta sit down and like format and lay out and pick all the images, and then and I have been trying to do that along the way so that I'm not overwhelmed when the time comes. Like, I'm favoriting things, I'm trying to create folders and organization along the way. I mean, I get distracted, so I've done a little bit of a lot of things. And I work with a coach, and as the time comes closer, I am going to also start working closer with friends who have published for themselves, and I'm going to be working with them. So what you will see as content as I grow and change on this channel is just what it takes to put something like this together. It's a long process, and it's a long project, and it scared the crap out of me to pick such a long-term project because I do distract so easily. But I feel like because it encapsulates so many of my special interests that I will definitely be capable of completing this project. And I am determined. I am determined. And I feel like also because because this project is supported by all of you, right? I just feel like I am creating something in a community energy, and it feels like it's not just mine. Y'all are a part of it, and I couldn't be doing it without you. And I'm so grateful for that, because this was a really big jump off for me. Our world is changing, and all I'm trying to do is figure out how to exist within it as it changes, without causing harm to me or to others. That's the bottom line. So part 2 of this video is, what do I do with myself? So I had somebody ask me, as a YouTube creator, what YouTube videos do you watch? So here, this is my list of YouTube videos that I enjoy, and I'm going to do my best to be concise. I'm looking at it. I see 13 minutes and 16 seconds, so I'm going to try to do this before the 20-minute mark. Wish me luck. I feel like I'm on a game show with a timer on. Okay, so first 2 channels have to do with art: The Mind of Watercolor and Sarah Burns Studio. Both of those channels offer fabulous tutorials. They kept me engaged and taught me a ton. I feel like, because I'm a watercolor, I work with gouache. Gouache is an opaque watercolor. And I feel like the watercolor channel helps me with the impulsivity of the media, right? His thing is, watercolor has a mind of its own. And it does. And it does. And then Sarah Burns is all about gouache, and I love the way she talks about her personal journey along the way, and she inspired me really to believe that I could do something on YouTube as who I am. And that was really cool. And so I love her channel. She also has a Patreon, and it is worth becoming a member of, especially if you're learning. The access that she gives you to her tutorials on Patreon is beyond. And so it's totally worth becoming a member. I was a member on her channel for Oh, for 6 years, I've been a member on her channel. I only recently stopped because I had to revamp my finances. And I couldn't do things the way I was doing them. Inflation is what it is, and it's happened. But I did support her for 7 years, and I was very happy to be able to do it. I felt like it was like my karma exchange on Patreon, and it came out of my Patreon income to support her. So I just put that right back in. And I hope to be able to go back to doing that again. I will pick a new creator to support when I do it. But I would like to do that because I feel good about doing that. And also, it inspires me, and I learn more about how I can change and grow my content, right? By watching other content creators. So, yeah, anyway. So those are the art channels that I enjoy. And then as far as van life and van life inspiration that I have been watching from the beginning. So the first van life channel that I ever watched, and I still watch today, was Van City Van Life with Chrome. Now, he is Canadian, travels back and forth in Canada. He's now, he's got a shop now where they do van upgrades and stuff, and I think it's Van Toys is the name of his thing. But go check him out, Van City Van Life. And he's just bought a new Sprinter that he's going to be building out for himself. So he started out, and he's still living in an extended Ford E350, right? So longer than mine and a bigger engine than mine, right? And he also had lift kits put on it. I mean, he totally kitted it out. And the only thing he didn't do was put a cap on it, right? He's done almost all of it except put a cap on it. And instead of doing that, because the van was experiencing a lot of problems, it was starting to show it's starting to show its age, and he finally just was like, you know what, I think it's time for a new van. And he's getting older, we're experiencing age, and we're figuring out that standing up is something we actually need to do. And so he's got a high top Sprinter, and he's just started building it out. So if you're interested in watching a really cool van build come to fruition, check out Van City Van Life, because he's in that process right now of building out a new Sprinter van. So Van City Van Life. And then the other ones that I really fell in love with as far as van life shows were, and that I still watch today, I'm going to start with Mr. and Mrs. Adventure. They were in a Sprinter called Spirit, and I started watching them when they were designing and building that, and I love the creativity that goes into their designs, and I love their approach to life, and I identify a lot in the different kinds of personal things that they go through. So I've really enjoyed that. But I just love their artistic design. And now they have gone from van life. They purchased a property in Portugal, and they're rebuilding a mill. So a water mill. It's just a really cool project. Beautiful property. They have a drone. I don't have a drone. I know. But I don't think I'll ever have a drone because it's too much equipment for me to pay attention to. I don't want to lose it or break it. I can't have nice things, people. And they are rebuilding the watermill in Portugal. And they're so worth watching. Right now they're working on the stones on the interior, and they've been cleaning out all the stones, and they're about to start pointing. So that's a really cool project to watch. And on that note, the next channel that I watch still consistently to this day, and I started watching them back in 2018, is the Indie Projects. And they also they did one property in Portugal, and now they're on their second property. And they just sold the first one. And that first one was the one where they repointed an entire old cottage, a little stone cottage, and it just, it's such a worthwhile project to watch from start to finish. So the indie projects, and they're also working on their Miracle Mountain. This is their new property, and there's a bunch of stone structures on that they're going to be working on. But it's just, I enjoy them. I enjoy all the little projects they take on. I also, both of those channels have cats, and I kind of a cat person, and I enjoy watching the love they share with their babies. So those two. And then the other van life channel that I still watch that is no longer in a van is the Nomadic Movement. Yes, they are awesome. I love them. They traveled in their little YMCA minibus. They had a little schoolie. They left Boston, they went across to Alaska, and then they went down to Panama, where they found a piece of property and bought it. And so their channel is all about that process. And right now they're building their house, and they've been hand digging the footer holes. Holy crap. You got to check it out. I mean, they really do things the hard way, but it's because they have to do it the hard way because of where they are. They're very remote. So check it out. It's well worth it. And they are a family-friendly channel. So out of all of the channels that I've told you about, they are the most family-friendly. 100%. Then I would say the indie projects and Mr. and Mrs. Adventure after that. Okay. Van City Van Life, I wouldn't say kids. He's not for kids. It's just not for kids. Anyway, but does he swear a lot on the channel? Not too much. Not anymore. He used to swear a lot more than he does now. A lot of people have cut back on that because you get in trouble for doing it. Which I still think is pretty shitty. I'm going to say it. Because I think we should be over that by now. With all the other big things we have in this world to worry about, I think that's one of the last things we need to worry about. Anyway, I don't want to digress. And, all right, where am I? Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. And shoot, now we're at 22. I fucked up. Right, let me see where I am. All right, now moving on to these are van lifers that I am in personal contact with or friends with. So first one is Artful Outdoor Adventures. Hi, Cindy. Now, Cindy used to be Artful Vegan Nomad. That's when I first got to know her, and she was in her Ford Transit. And they were building that out when I first started watching. And then we got to know each other online through conversations and Facebook and, just having a lot of similarities. She started following my channel when I moved into the van, and she was watching me travel, and it was encouraging her to travel. And we've just been supporting each other virtually for some time now. And we have been trying to get together. One of these days, the universe will put us together in person, and I'm really looking forward to that. But she's a fabulous channel. She now is, she's been building out and working on her new Jeep. She sold the Ford Transit, and now she's working on the Jeep. They've done a lot of work on it. She has a rooftop tent. They're upgrading it constantly for more off-road adventuring and stuff. So really cool. I enjoy her channel thoroughly. I have a lot in common with her, and I suggest to check her out. Okay, so Artful Outdoor Adventures. And yeah, I'm gonna always keep looking at my little note thingy here because I don't want to say anything. I'm not putting links in the description box, so pay attention. I'm gonna put them on the screen. If you like the idea of one, just search it. So Artful Outdoor Adventures. Then the next one is my friend Joanne from Joanne Plans. Now, Joanne and I, if you've been following along, have camped together. We met on TikTok, and then we met up in Quartzsite. 2 years ago. Oh my gosh. Last year just went, yeah, like a blur. Was it the beginning of last year? No. Yeah, it is 2 years ago. Holy crap. Okay. Wow. Time flies. Joanne Plans. Met her in Quartzsite, and we became fast friends. Like seconds, I think it took. And we continue to be so. And we met up recently in Colorado. We only got to travel together for a short period of time because her dog got sick. And she had to go back east sooner than later. Which was a real wah-wah moment. But Duders is much better now. So, yay. So check out Joanne Plans. And then, oh, her specialties are also, like, she has a travel vlog, plus she helps people, like other businesses, navigate social media. And she's also an accountant. So I know she has a number, I think she has a few different channels. So, but check out @Joanne Plans. I know she's also putting out a planner, which is exciting. But yeah, so that's one. And then the other one, which if you follow along and you saw last year in February, when I was moving back into the van after being in that apartment for a short period of time, she came and saved my sanity. So Laced Venom, and her channel is awesome. She's all about solo female healing and getting to know herself and journeying and just learning about life as she goes, you know, and sharing it along the way. She's a pretty awesome person, and I really enjoy her content as well. But yeah, so Laced Venom. So those three are people I know and have gotten to know since I've become a creator. All right, now for pure entertainment and a little bit of education, because I like education in my entertainment, I'm switching gears. I'm going to tell you about some things that are like probably super popular, but they're my faves and I enjoy them. So one of them is The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. I do watch it on YouTube, so I'm only catching bits and pieces of it. I don't watch the show in its entirety. I usually just watch the opening monologue kind of thing, right? But I enjoy it thoroughly. And I like how Jon Stewart brings me the current events. The other one is a spin-off, sort of. That's because Josh Johnson is a writer on The Daily Show and a contributor, also a correspondent on The Daily Show. But he is also a stand-up comedian, and he is out on tour right now, and he posts all the time, and he is on top of current events, and his delivery and perspective is educational and funny at the same time, and I learn so much watching him. Josh Johnson. And then right now, my number one rabbit holing fascination is Mini Minuteman, Milo Rossi. And he is an archaeologist and a hobby geologist. And he is a debunker, and he loves to educate and help you know what's real and what's not real. And I just love it. I love him. I think he's brilliant. I'm so excited because he is a young man and he is a brilliant mind, and I am enjoying watching the future of this country come to life in him. Right? You know, like, I am just so excited. So now I will say he's blue. You know, I'm not, his delivery is adult. He is an adult channel. Now, if you, again, it's the swearing thing, right? If you can get beyond that, and I hope you do, because honestly, if it's bugging you that much, I don't know. Sorry. I'm just going to say sorry for you. But understand, he is so unapologetic for who he is, and I absolutely love him for it. I think he's brilliant. I think we all have a lot to learn, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it thoroughly. Not only is he a brilliant educator, but he is so funny. I really appreciate, obviously, humor with my education. It makes a big difference for me. So, that's it. That's my list. Those are my most favorite YouTube channels that I watch consistently. And there's a little bit of variety in that. I obviously have some special interests. And they are shown in what I choose to watch. So yeah, so those are my big favorites right now. And I do have a lot that's going to be happening coming up. And I hope you stay tuned and keep following along and keep commenting and engaging, because it keeps me wanting to create more. And yeah, you know, it's a circle. The circle of life, right? It's everything. And I hope that I hope we can all grow together. You know, there's a lot going on, and as a friend of mine always loved to say, another fucking growing experience. Yeah, and we're all going to get to go through it together. So we can do it well. So what is it I heard recently? I can choose to be in despair, or I can choose to leave despair behind. I can make that choice. Life is hard, but it doesn't have to be miserable. So, on that note, no, actually, I want to leave on a different note. One more. A favorite thing that a friend of mine used to say to me all the time. Anytime I had a bitch or a moan in my head, right? Like, and I was complaining, I'd get this guy coming up behind me going, "Life doesn't get better, honey. You do." So, yeah. Life isn't going to get any better, but we can get better. See you next time. Bye.